What are we going to cover tonight, man?
Well, I think tonight we are going to cover the topic of geo farming and what does that mean and how
Geo
do you
Farming.
get those leads to go into your CRM. All right, welcome to another episode of Getting Real in the Field. And this is the show where we talk about all the things that you hate to do, which is following up, making phone calls, lead gen, and talking to your clients. And I'm your host, JP Llewellyn and Keck Tay. All right, it's been a little bit since we've been in the studio, and
I
Keck
know.
back, man. What is going on?
I was stranded on the ship, man, and and I was on a cruise, guys, just to be honest.
And it was a U.S. cruise.
No, it was international. It went from Canada to the
Oh,
US.
that's right. I forget about that. International. You can cheat by saying you went to Canada.
That's right. That's right.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm so glad to be back.
You survived. You navigated the sickness. You're now back to reality, and you played Mr. Mom for a week.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, a number of my family members got sick with COVID. So,
It's still out there, folks. It's still out there.
That's right. That's right.
It's the lesser COVID, though, as from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
But easier to be transmitted, but not as severe with the side effects, I guess.
That's right. I guess so.
Go. There you go. It's kind of like when you go to watch one of those medical, TV commercials, and they're like, side effects may incur bowel movements and headache and nausea, and consult your doctor if you have any of these symptoms, but go ahead and take our product. You're like, really?
Yes. That's exactly it. Side effects might happen with COVID, with nausea, headaches, and all that, but come and take our cruise with us.
I know, right? By day 3, the coughing may occur.
And it did occur.
There it is. There it is.
So,
all right.
What are we going to cover tonight, man?
Well, I think tonight we are going to cover the topic of geo farming and what does that mean and how do you get those leads to go into your CRM? Like, what's the easiest way to track leads, especially like going from traditional marketing to a tracking system? And I think, what it really comes down to, a couple things, is go through your MLS and find the areas that have the highest attrition rate. So that have like lots of turnover, lots of, maybe military or even like, out of state owners. Like, these are areas you can just constantly farm. And if you've been in the business for a while, you can look at those different neighborhoods and you'll know those neighborhoods just because you've dealt with those neighborhoods quite a bit. The other way you can do it is just do a search by subdivision and see how many solds have sold compared to other subdivisions. Or another easy way to pick a subdivision or area is just your backyard and farm your backyard, because your neighbors have probably seen your signs or seen you loading signs in your car. But yet they don't know you, they don't like you, and they don't trust you. So how do you get them to know, like, and trust them? Send them a postcard, And the best way, I think, to get those names, numbers, phone numbers, email addresses into your database is this thing called a QR code. You've probably seen it. It's kind of funny. These QR codes have been around for a long time, but then COVID came and QR codes were now everywhere, which is kind of funny how it takes like a pandemic for like really good technology to finally be used in a practical sense. And I actually, what's cool is I have a QR code business card on my phone now. So I don't even hardly carry business cards anymore because I always forget to bring them anyways.
Yeah.
And so I have this little QR scanner and it goes to this app and it downloads all my stuff into their phone instantly.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, so with the geo farming, where do you get the list of contacts? Like, okay, I get that you're the attrition, you want to focus in an area where there's high turnover in sales and stuff like that. How do you get a list of all those contacts or the homeowners around
Sure.
that whole area? And how big do you make it?
So essentially, like if you use like every door direct mail through USPS,
Yep.
that's probably the most cost effective because it gives you the prices like right away
Sure.
based on how many households you want to hit.
Yep.
That's a good way to do it. However, you're blanketing a neighborhood rather than being strategic. So another way to like pinpoint better use of your dollars to send mailers to is basically get like a list that you can buy from a data house, like you can like PropStream or batch leads, places like that, where you can actually just filter the list and
Sure.
then you download the entire list and then you can email or you can send postcards that way.
Okay.
And a lot of times you can just take those lists and then send the list to a mail house. The mail house will then send you a quote on what it would cost to mail to all of those addresses. And then that's a better way too, because you can get bulk shipping that way too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that way you're not paying, USPS rates for that as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's a I forget what it's called, but there's a bulk shipping. So for those who don't know, there is a way to do it mailers without paying the regular postage and to do bulk. Basically, it goes by their route. I think it's called EDMS or something like that. Where
EDDM, that's every door direct mail.
there you go. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, you basically don't put your address or you don't specify what address. You just go and blanket the entire neighborhood.
Yep.
And you go by the mail route rather than by specific addresses. And that makes it a lot cheaper.
It does. Yeah. And the nice thing about that is you can go on their map on EDDM.
Yep.
And it'll kick out the pricing right away.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a little bit challenging because your postcard has to be a certain size. It can't be any bigger. It can't be any smaller.
That's right.
So
Right.
you have to make sure it's within their specifications. But that is a nice way to do it. And the other thing too, is I would suggest is if you're going to do geo farming, you want to do it very consistently.
How often?
Every once in a while you get lucky, you do one campaign and you get a kickback, but typically like twice a month. You want to hit the same neighborhoods, yeah, twice a month. And then the nice thing is you can rotate the same 2 or 3 postcards because half the time they look at it, they throw it away. Half the time they see it and then they throw it away. But eventually they'll see it and they'll look at it because they're like, I think I've seen this card like 3 or 4 times, and so the ways to track that is either with a tracking number that goes to your CRM.
Yep.
Or a phone number that goes to a voicemail that also that has a lead capture.
Okay.
The other way is just a QR code that goes directly to you.
Okay.
Or to your CRM lead form.
Okay.
So when they scan that QR code, it'll open up the lead form and then they put in their information about getting a CMA or whatever it is. And then that's another way too.
Yeah. Okay. And it costs what? I think it's cost like about 60 cents to $1 or a couple bucks potentially, depending on the mailer you put out, the card that you put out, right?
Yep. So another way to mix it up is postcard, letter. And
I like that.
And the uglier the postcard, the higher the likelihood of them reading it.
I've heard that.
So if you print it on, make this nice, glorious, postcard that you hired a designer for, and you
glossy print and all that,
glossy print, and
it gets hucked out.
And then you spent money on a brand new suit to be in the pictures. You spent money on a photographer and all this marketing. Like the best thing to do is to just make it ugly. That way they look at it, they see your QR code, they scan it, and then you get the lead. Because all the work is done after the mailer. So
yeah. I would say there's one other tip that I would share with the audience as well too. So you've got the geo farming using like the traditional mailers, right? I would say also add on to it and this is something that I do for our clients, is we'll do a digital geo farming, similar exactly, but for all the properties. But then I get, with the database that we have, we get the phone numbers and the email addresses. So if you're doing some mailers and you want to intersperse it, like just a postcard letter, I would actually combine this and suggest you do hit them up on Facebook or on
Oh, sure.
Google ad displays, right? Hey, and then hit them up, so that, or even next door too, you can hit them up and kind of just target, those folks there in the neighborhood, and then do the circle prospecting that way, or geofarming, right?
Perfect. And you can use the same postcard verbiage and the same
Exactly.
letter verbiage in an
It's
email.
cheaper than just sending a physical mail card. And you know how when you take a postcard and people would just chuck it or they forget about it, but with digital, you put a digital fingerprint on it, and if they touch it, they open it, we now know that they might be interested, and you can retarget them.
That's right. And you can follow them all around the internet. And if you got an unforgettable face like this,
Oh, for sure, man.
and then there's a higher rate of response. I'm just telling you.
Oh, for sure, man.
For sure. So, on that note, Keck, how can people learn more about how they can digitally geofarm?
Well, come and talk to me. Check us out on fieldnotes.ai, or you can call me directly. It's my direct number is 425-740-0260. And how about you, JP?
Awesome. Well, I just launched a brand new website, realestateleads.com. And you can check me out there. And otherwise, you can go on to the Googles, and you can just type in JP Fluellen, and I'm everywhere. So you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, all the things.
TikTok?
So, I'm on TikTok. I'm not on there often enough, but I am on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Oh, too funny.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, I think that concludes another episode of Getting Real in the Field. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.